SpringFest is heating up at Lowe's. And for a limited time, we have the extra big deals you need to impress guests. Get your outdoor space ready and save $50 on a select Cobalt 24-volt blower kit, now $79. Plus, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance 4-burner grill, now $199. It's springtime, and our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/13. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Okay, I am now about to do an interview with John Catsimatidis. You know his name because he's everywhere. He's like crabgrass. There's no place you can't find the name John Catsimatidis. He started out as a poor guy on a Greek island. He's now known all over Greece. He's known all over the island. He's known all over every dress shop because of his wife, Margot. He's known by me because we go to every single restaurant there is in New York City. And he always calls me at 6:00 at night. And he says, I'll pick you up in 10 minutes. Find a restaurant. What restaurant, John? I'm not dressed. It's 10 after 6. Where am I going to? He says, this is your problem. I'll pick you up in 10 minutes. Find a restaurant. This is John. John started as a grocery man. He started as a clerk when he first came here. Then he realized in a clerk he's not going to make any money. And maybe he should own the Greek restaurant and the Greek store place. And so he bought it. And then he realized real estate people then wanted to buy his store because they wanted his location. And so he said, why am I just in grocery? Why don't I go into real estate? And so he began in real estate. And then, since he needed to go from one place to another, he bought an airline. And then the airline wasn't enough, and he needed to buy an oil well. So he's got an oil well. He is so full of cash. He's not full of a lot of other things, but he's full of cash. And I'll tell you one thing. He doesn't hold a grudge. There are people that he has that I want to smack. And I fight with him because we have dinner at least once a week. And he says, no, they're good people. I said, they're not people. They're terrible people. I'm not allowed to mention the word that they are. And he says, no, you have to be nice to them. That's the guy. He deserves it. He owns this station. And watch, in the next 10 minutes, he'll probably buy out CBS. Listen, why is it that you are so smart and you have had so much PR that you don't hold a grudge for anybody? I never saw you be mad at anybody, John.
Because it doesn't matter. I don't have to. When you're climbing, I already climbed the mountain. That's what.
I don't understand that. I mean, I know people have peed on
I don't have to prove to anybody that I'm on top of the mountain.
I don't understand how you cannot hold a grudge.
All these people that wear Rolex watches, they're trying to prove they have money. I don't have to do that. I wear an Apple Watch.
Oh, okay, but have you never been mad at anybody when you were growing up as a kid in school ever?
I will tell you some names if you tell me. If you ask me.
Tell me.
Arthur Goldberg, who owned not the thing. Arthur Goldberg, who became was a mean-spirited guy. He became he owned White Rose Foods. He was in the food business, in the trucking business, and then he bought Bally and Caesars, and then he died because he was too mean-spirited. And when people give you mean spirits against you, you die sooner.
Whoa, where did you get that from?
I feel it and I know it.
Have you seen it proven?
And people that have done bad things against me, have suffered. Not by my doing. I must have a guardian angel.
I mean, I know you 50 years, 50 years. I know you so long. I've seen people try to pee on you or whatever. And look how you've gone from selling soup to being the #1 mouth in New York. I mean, doesn't that surprise you?
No, because I work hard every day and I do the best I can every day, and I love people and I try to help people versus trying to hurt it. I never try to hurt people because there's no upside.
Well, I guess you must be right. Tell me about school when you were starting out. What was your childhood like? What were your parents like? What was it like when you were in the early days in the old country?
I came here 6 months old. We moved to 512 West 135th Street, 3rd floor. We had 3 bedrooms, 5.5 rooms, and we were paying $48 a month rent. And my father rented 1 bedroom out to one of his friends from the old country for $8 a week. So $8 a week is $32 a month. My father almost made a profit in the apartment.
Now that I know what you're paying me, I would say it's about the same level. So let's go on to anything else. What do you do to relax? Ever. Not that you relax ever.
I enjoy watching good movies. I enjoy watching good television shows, and I enjoy mysteries. I created on WABC. We created The Other Side of Midnight. I created that show because at 3 o'clock in the morning, when I can't sleep and other people can't sleep, they like mysteries. They like to know about the UFOs. They want to know about what happened in this mystery and that mystery. There's so many mysteries that we don't know about the planet Earth that it became the #1 show overnight.
John, with all that you've done, from how you've come up, have you never been scared?
I remember I was scared a few times as far as when I first went into the airline business. And I put up all the money I had. And I remember walking into my wife's office and saying, I'm putting up all the money we have to buy this airline. And, she said, you do what you have to do. And, but I had to get it off my chest. And one of the reasons I was able to spend more money because I didn't have kids until I was, 42 years old. How old was I? About 42. My daughter, Andrea. And then my son, John Jr., I was about 45. And so when you don't have kids, you don't have anything to lose. Worst comes to worst, you go to work, back to work and live in a 1-bedroom apartment and sell apples on the street of New York.
I've listened to you, and I know you, and I truly love you, as people know we're great friends. Tell me, did you ever get nervous with the VIPs that you're suddenly thrown in with?
No, I got great training. I remember, me and you were very close to Bill Clinton and Hillary at the time, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't know. I lose track of time. And there's a picture on my wall when I ran for mayor, and I was whispering into Bill Clinton's ear. And you know what I was saying to him?
God knows I'd like to hear, yeah.
I said to him, thank you for the training. He was one of the best politicians we ever had, and I learned so much from him. And the joke, I tell to President Trump, to the Donald, and I always call him President Trump, even though me and you know him 50 years too.
Yeah.
Is we live in the lower 60s on Fifth Avenue, and we used to have all those dinner parties for Bill Clinton, and they used to tie up the traffic all the way down to 55th Street, and the Donald at that time used to call me and complain, "You got my traffic all screwed up."
Yeah, I know.
And now he's the president of the United States. And I got another funny one to tell you.
Yeah.
Me and Margot were at dinner at the White House, or at the new garden, outside garden, and it was the president it was me and Margot, the president, and Bill Ackman. And the president turned to me and says, "John, sometimes I can't believe we're here." and he's the president of the United States.
I sort of almost feel that way with you. Maybe it's because I knew you for so long. But when the first time I met you, you and I were on the dais for the Republican Party. We were sitting next to one another on the dais for the Republican Party, and the very next day you gave a party for Hillary Clinton in your home, and I thought, what the hell is this? What are you do? You're a Republican one day, you're a Democrat the next. You remember that?
I enjoy people. I love people. Roy Goodman was a great person. He had at least 10 people in that room. He promised to be the next mayor. At least 10 he was promised to. The Clintons, I loved Bill Clinton. He would walk into a room in my apartment, because we gave all those dinner parties in my apartment. And my apartment was permanently wired by the Secret Service, because they were tired of going and putting up the wiring in those early days, putting up the wiring, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out. Bill Clinton was one of the most common sense guys I ever knew, and I really admired him. He loved our country, and it's just, and you were right next to me most of the time.
I certainly was, and will be for the rest of our lives, because I know you not only someone I work for or with, but you're my great friend. And when I needed some money for somebody else who was in need, I came to you, and you gave me the money for that person. And you've always been there. I have to tell this to the world. You are there for everyone. Now let me ask you, if you're there for everyone, how are you going to protect this GD city? What are you going to do for this crap-ass mayor?
Well, I met with the mayor 2 weeks ago. I talked to him a few times last week. The White House called me, and they needed to get something done, because the president was busy. The president was busy saving the world.
Yeah, I heard.
The White House called me to take care of some other minor problem, and I talked to the mayor, and the mayor, I believe, has taken care of it.
Can I ask you what you would do if you were mayor? You can't be mayor because you employ half of the United States of America, so you can't do that. But what would you do that this idiot, Crapdammy, is not doing? What should we do to help our streets?
I gave him the idea.
What idea?
That when I ran for mayor in 2013, I had a dream of creating the World's Fair of 2015. And when I met with the mayor, I told him about it, and he loves the idea because it'll create a zillion more visitors to New York City. And the idea was that in the 5 boroughs, we take 50 corporations in 50 countries and create along the coast of the Bronx, along the coast of Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, different pavilions, country pavilions, corporate pavilions, and go from pavilion to pavilion by ferries, so we don't interfere with the traffic in the city in New York.
Oh, what happened with the idea?
Well, I never became mayor. And this mayor likes it, so let's wait and see if he acts on it.
He's not going to act on certain words that I can't say on the air. But if I weren't on the air, I would tell you what he would act on. Can you tell me when you sleep? I get messages from you at 2 a.m, 5 a.m, and I answer them at 5 a.m, and 4 a.m. You and I are the only two imbeciles who are up all night long. Why is that? When do you sleep?
Right now, it's only me and my wife, Margot. And our kids have moved out. They're in the same building, but they moved out. So we enjoy watching movies. When I come home, you know what it is? I fall asleep when I'm tired, and I wake up when it's time to wake up. And I try not to make too many meetings early in the morning, because I used to go to, remember, Hunts Point Market at 4 o'clock in the morning to buy the produce. So I sleep in 2 shifts sometimes. I sleep about 4 hours when I come home. Then I'm up from 1 o'clock in the morning to 5 in the morning. And then I sleep again from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, or maybe at 7:30, and then go to the office by 9.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I only know I get calls from you at 5 a.m, 4 a.m, 6 a.m. Those are the times I'm hearing from you.
And you answer me.
Yeah, I do. You and I are the only people I know who are conversing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely. Okay, what's the most extravagant thing you ever bought or you ever did? I mean, now that you come into so much money and you're a billionaire, when you were born. Oh, what kind of money did your family have when you were born?
Oh, about $12.
What did they do?
Don't forget, the rent was $48 a month rent. And when my father came to America, his 2 brothers that were here already had to sign on the dotted line that if he couldn't pay the rent, they would pay it. So my father worked 7 days a week. He worked as a busboy at Longchamps on 42nd Street and Lexington Avenue. And then he spoke fluent Italian. So he went on Saturdays and Sundays to Astoria, where the Italian restaurants were, and he worked as a waiter. So he worked 7 days a week, so he did not have to go to his brothers to borrow money or anything like that.
Oh, can I borrow a few bucks from you?
Absolutely.
Okay, can we start now when I hang up? I don't want to waste time. Tell me. Oh, you got quiet all of a sudden, John.
No, me and you and Margot, we go out.
I know.
Night. We enjoy good food. We love New York, and we enjoy good food. And what I said to the mayor and I said to the governor, if people of my caliber all move out, the restaurants go broke. The Ubers, the taxi cabs lose money. And they have to understand that, because right now 2% of New Yorkers pay 48% of the taxes. Don't chase those people away.
And his answer was?
I think he understood it. And don't forget, the Moody's and S&P has a watch list out. And so it's not, right now, overseeing New York City, you have the governor responsibilities to make sure the right thing happens in New York City. You have the city council speaker, Julie Menem. And you have Jay Clayton, the U.S. attorney, who's coordinating the federal officers of New York to make sure that Washington, President Trump, is happy. And President Trump loves New York, and he wants the right thing to happen by it. And we've talked about it. And the fact is, and I told this to the mayor, that if you're on the edge of disaster or you're on the edge of success, President Trump will give you $5 billion, $10 billion for affordable housing. But you have to do the right thing. And the quality of life is non-negotiable. The quality of life has to be maintained. And he understood that. And I said, if any more businesses move out, then you're going to go on a downward spiral. And that's not good.
Okay, you have said all the things that are right. And since I am not as classy as you, I would like to ask you, did you ever fall on your ass?
Did I ever fall on my ass? I came close to it. I came very close to it a few times. Where the one thing I learned back in the 1980s, I was an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur wants to grow as fast as he can. And the problem is when you grow as fast as you can and borrow as much as you could, you're always living on the edge. Yeah. And you're close to that edge. And then at a certain point, when I had children, then that gave me religion. And you didn't want to live at the edge. Before 1990, when I didn't have children, I was constantly on the edge. Once I had children and somebody else to worry about other than me and Margot, guess what? I stopped living on the edge, and I stopped, I stopped being an entrepreneur, and I worked hard, but, we did other things.
Okay. You went from what we always used to call you in the old days, your grocery stores and stuff like that, which you still have. But how did you make this enormous leap from that to WABC, which is now the #1 radio station in the USA? What happened that I missed? How did that happen?
I tell you, I always look for opportunities, and the exact thing was the AM radio business was in trouble. And one day, another good friend of mine, Tony Carbonetti.
Oh, yeah.
Walked into my office and says, "You want to buy WABC for $12.5 million?" I said, "Where do I write the check?" I didn't even do due diligence on it. I just bought it on the blind.
But how did you know what the hell you were doing, John?
I wasn't, but I didn't care about the $12.5 million.
Please explain that to me slowly because I'm a little demented. Explain it to me.
I'll tell you the story. About a year before that, WOR was being sold for $30 million.
Yeah.
And I was willing, and I yelled at Jerry Crowley. And I said to him, "Why didn't you call me? I would have bought it for $30 million. Mike Bloomberg, who was on WOR every Friday, he would have bought it for $30 million. Why did you sell it to somebody else?" And we moved on. And then, so when Tony Carbonetti walked into my office and said, "You can buy WABC," which was much better, for $12.5 million, I said, "Where do I write the check?"
I didn't know that. I didn't know the backstory. I mean, I already know we always have dinner. We had dinner like on a Monday and you hadn't bought it. We had dinner on a Wednesday, you had bought it. So I never knew exactly what happened. And how did you know what the hell to do with it? You had to put human beings there. You didn't even know who the half of them were. How did you do that?
It took a lot of learning, but if you use common sense, no matter what business you're in, if you use common sense, you can be successful. We've bought a lot of companies in bankruptcy, and my reputation is we buy them in bankruptcy and we fix them.
Okay. So now, obviously I know the answer to the question because I'm not as stupid as I look. Do you enjoy this media much more than plain business?
Well, I enjoy telling the truth. And right now, I love America as much as you love America. A lot of people love America, and some. I don't know what happened to the media because some of the major channels are not telling the way it's supposed to be told. and I worked 70, 80 hours a week. Why? Because I want. When it's time for me to go, I want to leave a better world for my kids and grandkids.
Okay, I understand that. How did you develop WABC from what was a moribund station that nobody listened to, including engineers? And how did you make it number one? What did you do that I don't understand?
I hired the people that I felt were the best and that I would enjoy listening to. I hired Cousin Brucey because I grew up with Cousin Brucey. I loved his music. So I just hired Cousin Brucey. I paid him what I had to pay him. And then I hired Bill O'Reilly. Me and you love Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And 5 years ago, 6 years ago, nobody would hire him. And the president of the company says to me, how can you hire him? We're going to lose all our advertisers. I said, the heck with that. I'm hiring him because, and Bill O'Reilly has become bigger than ever.
It's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. Are your kids following in your direction? Are they going to run the station at some point?
My son runs the company day to day, and he's learning how to be a quasi-entrepreneur. My daughter is more involved in politics than she is with the company right now, and and they're both learning a lot every day.
Okay, you may own the station, but in 3 more minutes, I'm going to throw you the hell off. So just tell me, how did you go from grocery stores to politics? And you did it in one shot so that everybody comes to you now asking for your advice. What did I miss?
Well, I don't know. I went from grocery stores, and I was always known as the Catsimatidis, the grocery man. Even I remember one time I gave advice to the patriarch through Father Alex, and patriarch is equivalent to the Pope, and the patriarch said, what does a grocer know about things like this? And I graduated from a grocery man to a aviation expert. The company that became NetJets, I started it. Then we owned Capital Airlines. We went into the real estate business. Then we went into the oil business. The people said that the oil business, what do you know about oil? I said, Mazzolo oil, Western oil, olive oil. What's the difference? All oil. And the bankers got mad when I said that, but we ran the company very well, so they didn't care. And so I get along with people. I love people, and I know how to fix things.
Okay. The one thing I have to tell you is it's very boring to talk to you. That's the only problem. And
you didn't fall asleep yet.
I'm about to. And I certainly will take my nap the next time we have dinner. I want to say on the air, before I throw you the hell off your own station, I love you, John. I have for 50 years, and I always will, honey.
I remember sitting next to you in the Waldorf Astoria on the dais.
Yep.
Who was our friend that sat there on the other side of you, who just passed away, the ambassador to Hungary?
David, yeah.
Kornstein.
Okay. Kornstein, David Kornstein.
Fred Thompson was in the audience, and he was going to run for the United States Senate, and I stood up, and I said, and there's Fred Thompson, and nobody knew who he was. and me and you had so many adventures going back 50 years.
I love you, John. I love you.
I love you, too.
Thank you, baby. Thanks.
Thank you.
Goodbye, baby.